Hi there. Today's topic: stop hanging on to the thoughts about your past. Let go of what is no more. We tend to excessively engage with the thoughts about our past when the present is not that pleasant, when we maybe even struggle to cope with the present. It's hard. We're not happy with what is, with ourselves, with our life. We're in pain, maybe sometimes even. And when that happens, this engagement with the thoughts about our past grows and grows and grows. We cannot bring back the past, we all know that. And our thoughts about the past are just a certain version of the event or events that have taken place, maybe a long time ago. There are no more, gone. And these versions change with the circumstances, in and out of circumstances. They're motivated by our current situation. And they don't make it any better. Just the opposite, they're the obstacle. They're shackles that we put on ourselves. So we're not able to experience the current, present situation as it is unfolding. We're not able to pay full attention to it, be flexible, adapt to it. We're just glued on to these thoughts about the past, entertaining these thoughts about the past, being completely imprisoned in that. And the situation around us is not getting any better for that, just the opposite. It usually happens in two ways. Disengaging with the past, with the thoughts about the past. One way is when we're looking and engaging with the thoughts about the past that was troubled, that was problematic, that was maybe even traumatic, that was very hard to take. And we find maybe even people there, one person or many, more than one person, that was sort of responsible for putting us through that sort of a maltreatment or abuse even. And then we point fingers and we say, yes, we find these supposed reasons why our current situation is the way it is, why we are the way we are, why we are not able to cope, why we struggle, why we are not enjoying life, and so on and so on, because of what happened in the past, because of that person or these people, and so on and so on and so on. It is not helpful. As adults, we need to be able to put ourselves in a position where we can experience life, events as they unfold fully, without being diminished and without being limited by something that is no more, that is gone, without being burdened by these thoughts about the past. It works against us. You see, it took me all into my 50s to actually, finally, find a way to detach from these thoughts about the past. I didn't even know it was possible. And what I did, that I realized that I could have done it decades ago, 30 years ago or more. I just didn't know how. And when that happens, when you disengage, when you detach from these thoughts about the past, it's like a complete rebirth. Such a relief, such a liberation. It's amazing, it's unbelievable. Like you're getting a new, completely fresh lease on life, and believe me, it's something. The difference is so stark, it's hard to even describe. So what I talked about now, looking into the past, connecting with the thoughts about the past, the troubled past, is one way of indulging or hanging on to the thoughts about the past. There is another way too. And this way is no more helpful either. It is when we look for these good times in the past, supposed good times in the past, entertaining these thoughts about how great the past was, everything was so beautiful, so easy. We were just really laughing our heads off, how great it all was. But then it all changed. You see, the circumstances changed, all went for the worse. And that is why we are not able to cope. But that is why we are not happy with our lives. That is why. Because it's all changed in a way that is just so really, really bad. It's nothing like what it was. It's so much worse. It's all deteriorated so much and so on and so on. You see, again, looking for something in our past and engaging with that, and then comparing it to this present and finding the reasons again, how the past was so much better than the present, how it's really not up to us, but to the outside circumstances that have deteriorated, that made us the way we are, that made us struggle, that made us not cope, that made us suffer, and so on and so on. You see? Completely not helpful either, just sort of indulging, hanging on to some thoughts that are just a version of some events that were never, ever that great, that our thoughts about them, shackling us in, putting these sort of glasses on where we cannot possibly see anything that is in front of us, that is unfolding in front of us. We're just completely tunneled into that past that was so great and so beautiful and so on and so on and so on. And it just all went downwards from there on. You see, both these two versions are just completely unhelpful. Completely, actually, making the situation, the current situation, the present, worse than it actually is. And completely disabling us to sort of see what is, adapt to what is, take in what is as it is, without its coloring. When that happens, when you can actually and completely detach from the thoughts about your past, it is a rebirth. It is a complete liberation. It is like a new person has emerged that is flexible, that is able to experience life fully as is. Because what was is no more. The moment that was just past now is no more. Once you sort of completely disengage from the thoughts and you sink a little bit deeper into the mind, you will realize for yourself, beyond any doubt, that any moment comes and goes. The things in that moment come and go. They develop. They are put together. They become, and then they disintegrate. They pass. A moment to moment, from a moment to moment. And you just are hanging on to it, are freezing it into spot, into some sort of a concrete, what is fluid, what is moving all the time, what is becoming in passing non-stop. Past is no more, completely gone, as if it never was. And once you realize that, wow, a completely new you will emerge. So practice detachment from the thoughts and experience it for yourself and enjoy it. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.